You sit down. Finally, the day is done, nothing left that needs doing. And within minutes, something shifts, a quiet unease. You pick up your phone not because you want to, but because sitting still feels wrong. You start mentally drafting tomorrow's to-do list, and the rest you were supposed to be getting doesn't feel like rest at all. It feels like waiting to be productive again. Here's the contradiction. You weren't lazy, you weren't procrastinating, you were doing exactly what you were supposed to do, and your brain still treated it like a crime. So what is actually happening there? Let's start with this. There is nothing wrong with you. The guilt isn't a character flaw, it's a signal, and that signal has a source. For most people, it begins with what you learn to associate with your own worth. Think about what got celebrated when you were young. The finished project, the gold star, the moment you came home with something to show. Rest, by its nature, has nothing to show. And so, quietly, without anyone intending harm, many of us absorbed a message that our value lives inside our usefulness, that love was something you earned through doing. The moment you stop, something tightens. Something says, this isn't safe, not because it's true, because that's what you were taught. But here's the part nobody tells you. The guilt isn't just about productivity, it's about control. When life feels uncertain, when something unresolved is looming just out of view, rest becomes dangerous in a very specific way. Because rest means being alone with your mind. And your mind, when unoccupied, drifts toward exactly the things you've been trying not to feel. So the busyness isn't laziness in disguise, it's armor. Keeping yourself moving means staying one step ahead of the anxiety that lives in stillness. The guilt you feel about resting might not be about rest at all. It might be about what rest lets in. Think of busyness as a blanket, not warm exactly, but familiar. You've worn it so long that taking it off feels like exposure, even in a room that's perfectly safe. Your brain isn't punishing you for stopping, it's protecting you, in the only language it ever learned. The guilt is an old signal, from an old pattern, doing its best to keep you safe in a world that may no longer require that kind of safety. It's a protector who hasn't gotten the memo that the crisis is over. You don't need to fix that. You don't need to override it or out-logic it. It's enough to simply notice it, to hear it for what it is. You are allowed to stop, not because you've earned it, not because you've done enough, but because rest isn't the absence of living. It's what makes living sustainable. You already know that somewhere. Maybe today is just the day you let yourself believe it.